Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, June 28th. And yes, I did not do a CarCast yesterday. I apologize. As I have done recently the last at least couple years, I took the day off. And so I didn't really have the time like I'm doing right now, where I was in my car driving for a set period of time and I could record my thoughts. I was doing other things. Firstly, I was sleeping in, and then when I got up, I was catching up, and then I went and did some other stuff housework and stuff. Not housework. I had some errands to run and stuff, but I never got in my car for more than 2 minutes. And so, anyways, that's why I didn't do it. I apologize, but here you go. You got me now. So, what is up? Well, a lot, and I'm probably not going to get to cover all of it. I don't have my list of house guests, so I'm not going to be able to glance at that as a reminder about what things are going on. Let me think. Christy has had a household. She has made nominations. Power Veto was played, and Sam won the Power Veto. Now, it does seem that as we, when the feeds went live, we kind of figured out that Kemi was the backdoor target. They were going after her. Hang on, though. That has started to change as of overnight. It seemed like it has a possibility that maybe things will change. There's several big alliances. We saw the big six that they showed on the first or second episode, whichever one it was, and then now we've heard that adding to that, and I don't have my list here, so I'm not going to try to name everybody, but adding to that was Sam and Annalise. So Annalise and Sam are along with the other alliance, which would be Jackson, Jack, Nick, Holly, Christy, and one more, Holly, Christy. I can't remember who the last woman was. It'll come to me. Anyways, that is 8 people in an alliance. But then on the feeds yesterday, as you're watching it, you hear other alliances being kind of bantered about. It's a rather large group. And frankly, it's more of who's not in the grouping of the alliance, who are on the outs. And the outs would be Cliff, while he's liked and he's nominated right now, is not in this alliance. I've not heard his name tossed about in any of these alliances. Let me think. Jessica. Catherine doesn't seem to be. Tommy's in the alliance. That's right. Tommy was another one thrown into the mix there. That's right. Yeah, no, it was Tommy, not Sam. Now, Sam was just brought in last night into an alliance. So Sam was Sam and Annalise that were the 2 into the 6 that we originally saw. But now, I watched Sam get brought in, Tommy is a part of that 8. But I watched yesterday Sam get pulled into a alliance of 5. So they're all kind of globbing together these big alliances. It's a matter of who's not in them again. And Jackson was the other, was one. See, I'm throwing every name out there. Don't go by this list. Go by what I've written and what I've tweeted. Point is, it's more of who's not in it. And in that case, you've got Cliff, Jessica, Kemi, Nicole. Cliff, Jessica, Kemi, Nicole. That's 4. Catherine. And one more. One more. Who's the one more that I can't think of right now? I hate this. All right. That's why I need my list. I don't have it. So, sorry. They all seem to be kind of on the outside. I mean, you'd think Catherine wouldn't be, but she is. And, yes, it was confirmed by Jackson last night that he and Catherine, as I said, broke the seal of the Big Brother 21 house. They did some stuff and Jackson seems quite, like matter of fact about it. Oh yeah, why wouldn't I? There's nothing there. It was just a thing. I would never date Catherine. She'd be a friend, but I wouldn't date her. And I don't know what Catherine was thinking. Maybe that's Catherine's style. I don't know. It's Jackson's style. And I'm getting too old for this kind of stuff. It's like, wow, that was kind of a significant thing you guys did, and to just kind of write off. So those of you that are much younger than me are like, oh, geez, Mike, come on, this is how things are. Okay, fine. But to me, I think it did mess with Catherine's head. I already think she has a messed up head, but I think it messed up with her head more. And so while Jackson is going around, he's telling Christy about this last night. He's like, I'm a good guy. I'm a loving guy, and I really care about Catherine. Not in that way, but I care about her as a friend, and I feel bad, and blah blah blah. And okay, dude, you're a dick. I'm trying to think here. I realize I'm kind of throwing things out there, but hopefully most of you know what's going on. I mean, the gist of it is, Christy's head of household. Cliff and Catherine are nominated. Jackson is safe with the cam director. Sam won the power veto. It was some kind of food competition. I say food competition. They got food thrown at them, and they had to try to catch it or do something with it. And Sam won, but it was really a low-scoring thing. They didn't do well at all. Man, 4 of the people didn't do anything, I guess. Someone else corrected me and said it was 3. I don't know. I just went by what Nick said. Nick said 4 people scored 0, 1 person scored 2, or I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll see it on Sunday. No, we won't see it till Wednesday's show, or Tuesday's show. How's that? We won't even see that till Tuesday's show. So, the question is, Jack. Jack is apparently kind of chasing a little bit after Christy, and Christy is, I guess, not made it completely clear to everybody in the house that she doesn't go that way, at least at the moment. And so, she doesn't. She's in this big, huge alliance with Jack, but it sounds like she doesn't really want to be that closely attached to Jack. That could cause problems. When you've got a big alliance and you would see one of your members is not wanting to do their bidding or seeing them as a threat, she's starting to feel like, at least what I picked up, is that she doesn't really want Kemi out. That's what the target is, by the way. Target is to get Kemi out. She doesn't want Kemi out. That's not her. That's what I guess she says. That's what Jackson, or Jack and Jackson maybe, are pushing for. That's kind of their agenda, and that's not what she wants. And so we're not sure what's going to happen when Sam uses the power veto, assuming that Sam saves Cliff, which is what it sounds like he's going to do. So Sam will save Cliff. The question is, who's Christy going to put up in Cliff's place? Now, previously, she thought Catherine was going to get saved, so she's going to put up another girl in her place, which would be her excuse to put in Kemi. But now, if Cliff gets saved, is she going to say, well, I need to put up a guy in that place? I'm really wondering if Catherine isn't getting on shaky ground, because she is just a basket case. The thing is that in an interview that was published last night, it was implied that, I think it was Entertainment Weekly, it was implied that there are other people in the house that know each other. And the one rumor that we heard about that was that the rumor was that, I forgot about Bella. There's another one. See, I don't have the pictures with the names. Was that Holly and Catherine know each other. And they have been talking in the house. Holly does seem to lean heavily on Jackson Catherine does seem to lean on Jackson and Holly. And so that would make sense if she and Catherine and Holly know each other outside the house. So Holly won't be crazy about Catherine possibly going home. Thoughts? Yeah, this is a very random CarCast, I can tell, and I'm just trying to get the general. My brain's all over the place with this. Showmances, we just obviously mentioned the Christy Jackson thing, and Jackson saying it's not a showmance, and Christy doesn't talk like she feels it's a showmance either. I just, in my brain, I'm thinking that is just totally screwed with her head. I don't know. I don't want to try to psychoanalyze Christy too much about what her motivations were, what she did, why she did something with Jackson, if she thought it was a possible way to kind of lure him into an alliance, or if she was just in the moment and just did something. And at least the way Jackson talks, that wasn't his plan. His plan was, all right, doggy, let's get another notch in my belt. But we have another potential showmance of Bella and Nick. Now, Jessica told someone that she thought she saw them kiss. I haven't seen them kiss, but they have spent a lot of time together, and they've talked and they've bonded. And I wouldn't be surprised if there hasn't been a little bit of something going on there. But that's an interesting combo. At least at this moment. A month from now, I could be rolling my eyes about the relationship. You see these potential showmances start to kind of develop, and you kind of think, oh, isn't that cute? Or, oh, that's interesting. And then you kind of go, oh my God, it's never gonna end. Whoops. I did a bad job. There we go. Bad driving, Mike. I merged poorly. So, no accident, though. What else? Showmances. I don't know where Annalise stands. People think that she's got something for Jack, but I don't think she does have something for Jack necessarily. And I think Jackson may kind of like Annalise, but he thinks that Annalise likes Jack. I don't know. And Annalise, Ovi. There's another name. There's another name that I hadn't said. Ovi. He's got to ride out the first few weeks, I think. I think he may be okay then, but he's doing some things that are not setting him up well, and I'm trying to figure out where he thought these would be a good idea. So the main example that I heard complained about last night is that, he's apparently a decent cook. And he's made these cookies, which are apparently really good. But there's been some questions about hygiene, about if he's washed his hands every time or something, the way he's handled stuff. I think it was Holly that was quite bothered, even though she said she wasn't really bothered. In her storytelling, in her telling of this story, there was I'm picturing a big bowl of cookie dough, and Holly asked if she could have some, and rather than Ovi saying, here, sure, have some, or maybe taking a spoon and spooning her something, he grabbed some and balled it up for her or something. He put his hands all over it, and that bothered Holly, which I understand. I wouldn't want someone that I just met taking my food and touching it and then handing it to me. Maybe, I don't know. A cookie, maybe this a solid cookie, but not a ball that's kind of wet and moist and that you're wrapping your hand around. I can see how that would bother Holly. But the kicker on top of all this is that he's made all these cookies and he's put them in a container somewhere, and the container is in his drawer, in his bedroom, wherever his storage stuff is, that's where they are, and he kind of selectively gives the cookies out. It's dude, this is not kindergarten. This is not middle school. This is not preschool. I don't know where he's thinking that this is a good tactic, and I keep thinking, knowing that he went to University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Okay, so there's this rumor about him and Jackson going to the same school. Well, they went to two different, campus locations, two different locations of the same school, and University of Tennessee, I'm going to guess that Tennessee Knoxville is not as big as University of Tennessee. So there are big universities where I'm at Indiana, and there are satellite campuses, smaller campuses that are kind of their own little thing. But Ovi was the president of the University of Tennessee Knoxville. Now, in my brain, most satellite campuses, I'm not going to say this applies to like California where they have, so it may not apply to Tennessee and Knoxville, but I'm thinking that Tennessee and Knoxville is more of a commuter college than a, full on, we've got a football team, we've got a, basketball team, we do homecoming. Now they may have a basketball team, because some of the satellite colleges up here I know do have their own basketball team. They may even have their own football team, but it's still much more of a commuter college feel where a lot of the people that go to school there are part-time students, or it's just not a traditional big full-on university. I'm saying all this because Ovi was the president of that campus of University of Tennessee Knoxville, and I don't know if it's kind of the same vibe as a regular college campus. I'm just not sure. And I also think that maybe that's part, if he's into the politics sides of university life, maybe that's where he's getting this mentality about the way he's treating his housemates. I'm not sure. It just seems like he just he's lacking some awareness. He doesn't have quite that ability to read the room. I use that phrase a lot in my job when we talk to people about you need to have an ability. Your social skills in the job I have need to be really top notch. You need to know how to read the room. You need to understand who the people you're working with and understand if they're not happy or what's going on. Now, I say all this like I'm some pro. I'm not a pro, but I'm just saying those are things that you definitely need. And there are people that have awesome skills at doing that, and there are people that have terrible skills at doing that. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not awesome at all of that kind of stuff, but I'm fairly good. And I think Ovi is not very good, based on how the house is talking about him when he's not around, because it has been a big complaint about Ovi session. He also uses the head of household bathroom every morning, to the point where it was joked about yesterday morning, which is the first morning we see the feeds go live, and Jack is talking to Chris like, yep, any minute Ovi's going to come up for his morning dump. That's not a good thing when they say it that way. And sure enough, guess who showed up with all his clothes in his hand? That's the thing. Ovi walked up with like towel over arm, carrying all his stuff, and he opened the door. He says, yeah, "Can I use your restroom?" And Christy was like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine. Go ahead." Like nothing about it. But the thing is, they had been joking about it a few minutes before he showed up. So yeah, you need to look at what Ovi's doing and not do those things if you're on Big Brother. I hope Ovi survives. I think he could be an okay guy, a house guest. I think he'd be all right. I don't think he has a big ego, but right now he's not started out very well. But then again, this is the first. It's still just over a week in the house. They haven't had an eviction. Things will change dramatically once that first eviction happens, and they go like, "Whoa, this is real." Even though David is gone, I don't think that was a he lost a competition. There was nobody's, other than the fact that Jackson, put him up for it. Nobody had to do that. Oh, and by the way, yeah, I guess he was only in the house for like 6 hours. And another thing that came up is that in the Power Veto competition, KC came in and hosted the Power Veto competition. So there you go. There's your returning house guests already. There's one returning house guest, but it was the Power Veto competition. They haven't talked about there being any other house guests. And as a matter of fact, I think someone made a talk about how, well, we've had, she's returned, like implied that that's the first time they've seen someone come back in the house. So I don't think at this point, well, no, we've seen the competition. There's been no competition now that we don't know about. Because they've had the head of household competition and we've seen the Power Veto competition. Yeah, there has not been have-nots. No have-nots yet. The rooms are all intact, which is interesting. I don't remember. Didn't they already have the have-not room by the time the feeds went live? So is there a possibility there are no have-nots this season? Is there a possibility? I don't know. Surely they've got to have slop, though. It's a stay. I don't want it, but I don't know. Could they have peanut butter and jelly at the camp as opposed to slop? I'm not sure. All right, I have been all over the map. This is not a very well planned out CarCast. I apologize right now for that. feeling my brain is quite messed up as far as trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I'm really thinking at this point that that Christy may not put up Kemi, which will make a lot of people happy, because there's a lot of people unhappy that Christy, that David and Kemi could possibly be the first two out of the house, and the optics of that aren't good at all, and I totally get it. But on the one hand, with David, it's like, well, something went, he didn't, again, socially, he did something wrong to kind of set himself apart. And he did. At least in the house guest minds, they were talking about he was walking around this is what I read. He was like walking around the book of ethics or something during finals. There's another thing. It sounds like, I don't know. I guess it happens every season, but these house guests all kind of were aware of each other going in because of the finals. They see each other. The final auditions, I mean. So it sounds like at least one person made a comment about how they were already put off by David before they got into the house. That's not good. I just don't like the early eviction. That's annoying. You got to give somebody a chance to get in the house for a few minutes, not out in 6 hours. And Kemi, she just didn't click with people, I guess. But her attitude, what she has shown in the diary room, it was attitude, and it's going to rub people the wrong way. And granted, there are probably people in that house that may have had an attitude too, but that doesn't mean that it's not an out for you. That's not you can't assume that, well, there's other people that are just as much have just as much an attitude as I do. You just can't assume that. Now, I think we can blame some of it on being young, immature. I watched Kemi interacting with Nicole a little bit this morning from last night, and now that I saw that, it's kind of like she's just I don't know how, I gotta look how old Kemi is, but she's a young kid. Of course, they're all young, in their 20s, early 20s. They could all be young kids. So, yeah, she may not have known. And yes, my turn signal's on. Sorry for those of you that are hearing and going like, what's that noise? I'm thinking, though, Christy isn't going to go after Kemi. I'm thinking she's going to find a reason, excuse, or whatever to put somebody else up. The question is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Ovi? Is she going to go after Ovi? I don't know. I mean, of the guys, besides Cliff, I think it's Ovi is the one that's the furthest out of the loop, out of the social circle, out of the cliques. So, yeah, I guess it could be potentially. All right, with that, I have arrived. Again, I apologize for this. I'll be better next week, because I don't know if I'm going to do another. Tomorrow's our podcast. It's Friday, right? Yes, today is Friday. Today is Friday, and we do our Big Brother Gossip show tomorrow. We'll have lots to talk about. No doubt about that. We are going to talk a lot tomorrow. And, yeah. So, tune in to listen to Scott, Colette, and I talk. And by then, the Power Veto ceremony may have been held. It may be held today. We're kind of on a day early schedule. So, since they did the Power Veto competition, well, no, they're actually ahead of them. God, no, we're way ahead. This is the first week thing. The first week thing, things are always messed up. Power Veto is usually on a Saturday competition, and the Power Veto ceremony is actually usually on a Monday, right? So, sometimes a Sunday. But let's say it's on a Monday. Hey, they wouldn't do the Power Veto till tomorrow. And I would think they may give a little bit more time. I'm going to guess, I don't know if production does, if production wants, I'm not sure. They may give Christy more time to figure things out. Or they may see the way the wind's blowing and, we always, even though I bet they would say they don't do it that way, it just has that feeling sometimes that they wait until the house is set in an exact same certain way, or the way it seems like things are going to go, and then they say, all right, now do it. when they think they know how things are going to go. But we'll see. I'm going to guess no power veto today. Maybe they'll get the backyard at some point today. And, yep, that's it. I'm parked. Got to go. Sorry, I'm all over the map again. Thank you to my new patron. And I know I can see your avatar, but I can't think of your name, and I apologize. But thank you that for signing up to be a patron. Those of you remember Big Brother Gossip Show patrons, somebody's gonna win the tote bags, or at least one. 2 people are gonna win. Either 2 people are gonna win, or one person's gonna win twice. I haven't figured it out yet. We'll figure that. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow before the show. All right. Oh, and those of you that were curious, the live show, we will probably do a live podcast tomorrow. It may be a different way to watch, or to listen, not to watch. We're not doing video. It may be a different way to listen to our podcast live, but it should be live tomorrow, and it should be an easier way for people to listen to live, not more difficult. All right? Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.